You both said today that you love each other, and I believe it. But I'm trying to tell you, love is not enough for a successful marriage. There's so many other things that go in it. It's not just about you anymore.
Here is today's case.
I saw that he was on the dating site, again, after we've been dating for at least like 7-8 months.
I have a friend of mine, and I did let him utilize my information.
So your friend is out there giving out your phone number on your profile site, and this is not you. Are we still gonna stick with this story?
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, as you know, for the first time in divorce court, we have a virtual audience, and it's filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is Sydney from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Sydney. Welcome. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Today's case is Lewis versus Limehouse.
Thank you, Juan. Derek Lewis.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Jessica Limehouse for $620. You say she owes you for daycare expenses.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I understand the two of you have been in a relationship for almost 2 years.
That is correct.
But things have gone downhill recently.
Yes, ma'am.
How did the two of you meet, sir?
We actually met online on a dating site.
Which site?
I believe it's called Plenty of Fish.
I've heard of it plenty of times.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what was your response? What was your impression of him, ma'am?
I thought he was okay. A little short, a little lighter than I like, but hey, I'll give it a chance.
So you gave it a chance,
Yeah.
and the two of you went out on a date, and what happened?
We actually had a good date, and just like right after the date, that's when little red flags started popping up, and I'm like,
Right after the date? Because you dated for almost 2 years.
like right after the first date, like within that next week, little things started happening, making
The
me
week
second
after
guess
the
it.
first date. What are the real
Yeah.
issues you say are going on in this relationship? Who wants to tell me about that, ma'am?
So the issues are he's a liar and he's cheated. Because of that, it's kind of hard for me to move past. If I feel like you can't be honest now, how will you be in the future?
Why do you say he has been stepping out of the relationship? What are your red flags?
So for one, I saw that he was on the dating site, again, after we've been dating for at least like 7-8 months.
After the two of you were in an exclusive relationship?
Yes.
Is that true, sir?
Well, basically what happened is that I have a friend of mine, and I told him some time ago, I was a single guy, so I'm like, man, listen, I met a lot of females off of this site. So I had no need for it. I didn't close it down or anything. I did let him utilize my information.
Oh, so somebody else was using your account with your photo.
Yes, ma'am.
They do have access to the internet, so that means they would have access to create their own account.
Oh, this
Why
guy-
would they need to use your account?
Okay, the friend I was referring to, he was actually in a relationship.
Oh, so you're helping one of your friends cheat.
Hey, that was his option.
But doesn't that also speak to your character? Why would you want to help one of your friends cheat, sir?
It's not necessarily helping him cheat, but at the same time, I did tell him he can do
Well,
what he
no,
wishes
that's
to do.
exactly what it is. You are enabling and a willing participant in his shenanigans by allowing him to use your website. And it's also silly because you're in a relationship. So you're willing, knowing that you're in a relationship, you're willing to let the whole site think that you are single and out there still fishing. Well, you're supposed to be caught.
Well, I had no need for the site, so I didn't actually go on it or anything like that. I had no need to be back on that.
So you say, did you ask him who the friend was?
Yeah, actually, it's more to that story that he's leaving out. So I went through the messages and I saw that he reached out to one female and he was like, "This is Derek. We talked a while back. I don't know if you remember me, but I wanted to meet up with you." So basically, they started talking about going out on a date. He asked her what she liked to eat. She named all type of foods. He was like, "Okay, I get off of work at 6."
Mr. Lewis, was that you
No, ma'am.
having this conversation?
No, ma'am.
Reminiscing with her, talking about the two of you meeting up in the past, that was not you.
I don't even know who the female was.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
He also gave her his phone number. And I'm just like, if this is your friend, why is your friend using your picture, your name, and your phone number to talk to somebody else? It makes no sense.
The phone number that was given was Mr. Lewis's number and not the anonymous friend?
Correct, yes, Your Honor.
So your friend is out there giving out your phone number on your profile site to women who said that you had a conversation with in the past. And this is not you. Are we still gonna stick with this story?
I know that sounds ridiculous, Your Honor, but yes, ma'am. I even had the friend of mine reach out to Jessica and tell her.
He had plenty of time from the time I first saw it to the time I talked to his friend to brief him on what to say. And his friend, I was like, why would you give the lady your number? He's like, oh, I'm just being stupid. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I'm like, it makes no sense.
Well, tell me what's going on, sir. How did you end up here?
There was an incident that happened whereas I had to go to the library. And while I was there, once I was done, I ended up walking back to my car and I noticed my tire was shredded.
Your tire was shredded?
Right.
Okay.
It was going flat, but when I got there, I mean, it was already shredded. But nevertheless, I ended up calling AAA. So while I was waiting, I went back inside and got on the computer. I'd say about maybe a half hour, maybe 40 minutes or so. Ended up calling Jessica, just let her know what's going on. And while I was talking to her, AAA had called me and said, listen, we're here. We're like 5 minutes away or something like that. I get back to Jessica, said, listen, the guys, they're here. Immediately, she thought I was lying to her about AAA coming so fast.
He's saying that he got to the library and he said when he came out of the library, his tire was flat. And he sent me a picture of the tire. I'm guessing he thinks I'm a female. I don't know what a flat tire looks like, which I submitted that. And that's a shredded tire. That's not you wouldn't even make it to the library on that tire. Because it's
So
shredded.
what do you think happened?
I don't think he was at the library. He wasn't there. So I told him I was on the way. He was like, no, you ain't got to come. You don't have to come. So I was like, I'm coming anyways, only 15 minutes. I'll wait for AAA with you. He put me on hold for a second, like, okay, AAA's on the way. I'm like, okay, well, I'll be up there in like 10 minutes. Put me on hold again, okay. Then he came back, oh, they just pulled up. I got to go. And plus it was like pouring down rain. And so by the time I got there, like, I'm just like, there's no way they could have hooked your car up.
Maybe his friend on Plenty of Fish also works for AAA.
But,
I'd imagine both of you are probably covering for each other at this point.
No, ma'am.
You have a lot of connections.
No, ma'am, that was not the case at all. As I said before, I was there on the phone with them like 40 minutes. Well, waiting for like 40 minutes. I just happened to call her.
Well, so far, Mr. Lewis, it's not looking great for you today.
All right.
So there's an ex that he had, and he was talking to his friends, like, if I ever get a chance to get her back, I won't mess it up.
Your Honor, may I also add that this is in the beginning of our relationship, though.
So she had no reason to not trust you then?
No, ma'am.
Well, it didn't take long for you to give her a reason. Tell me about the text messages involving the loot.
So there's an ex that he had, and he was talking to his friends, like, if I ever get a chance to get her back, I won't mess it up. And he was like...
How do you know he said that?
Because I saw it in his phone.
You were looking through his phone?
Yes.
Why were you looking through his phone?
Because I snooped and I didn't trust him. So...
That's what happens when you stop trusting someone. You start snooping and you find exactly what you're looking for.
Your Honor, may I also add that this is in the beginning of our relationship, though. I was like, why are you looking through my
so she didn't have a reason. This was before she caught you, your friend on Plenty of Fish.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
So she had no reason to not trust you then.
No, ma'am.
Well, it didn't take long for you to give her a reason.
I understand.
Tell me about the text messages, ma'am.
So with the text messages, he was telling his friend like how the ex wanted to get back with him. He's like, she's back in the game, and I know we said stay with the loop, but Shorty's making it hard.
Did you submit the text messages to court?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Let's see the text messages. In the text messages, there's a picture of a woman. It's not you.
Correct.
You say, I know. This is to your friend who may or may not work for AAA. You say, I know we said stay with the loot, but Shorty is making this hard. And you put a picture of Shorty up there. Who is the loot?
That was a saying that basically referencing stick with the one who has the money.
Okay, who is that?
He was referring to Jessica.
So is this you or your friend that's writing, I know we said stay with the loot? That's you?
Yes.
Okay, so you're referring to her as the loot, but saying Shorty's making this hard.
Yes, ma'am.
Your ex is making this hard. Okay, so what's so hard about it?
Now, The ex at the time, she was in fact texting me, sending me messages, and she and I did have a conversation.
So why do you refer to her as Loot?
That's
Your friend made up that name too?
No, ma'am. That's just something that he said about talking about people with money.
So he refers to her though. Your friend came up with this name to refer to her.
Yes, ma'am.
So your friend also comes up with your nicknames for your girlfriends, in addition to his several other jobs and positions in your life.
No, ma'am. That's like I said. That's just a.
I'm just saying. This friend plays a lot of roles in this case right now. When you saw that he referred to you as the Loot, and you saw this kind of message, this is pretty significant. You said this is at the beginning of the relationship. How do you get past that?
I asked him like what it meant. He told me Loot means a fine woman, and I'm like, what is that? Chicago slang? Because I've never heard that before. Loot means money. So I'm thinking like, are you using me?
Was this before or after the profile?
Actually, it's all during the same time when I found out.
Oh, so you did one fell swoop of an investigation and scooped up all your evidence at once.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what happened after you uncovered all the treasure trove of evidence that you did?
So I went through his phone and I found out he actually met up with another female. And he's telling me they just stayed at the store and talked. But then later on, this female texted him and was like, I need my work shoes from your house.
How red do these flags have to be on a scale of 1 to 10? As red as your hair? If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. And so what happened after you uncovered all the treasure trove of evidence that you did?
Basically, we just started arguing a lot and I just didn't.
And it's all been downhill from there?
Yeah, mentally I just wasn't there anymore. So I went through his phone again earlier because I just felt like he was up to something. And I was supposed to come into his house and stay with him tonight. He told me, no, don't come, I'm not in the mood. So I went through his phone and I found out he actually met up with another female. And he's telling me they just stayed at the store and talked or whatever. But then later on, this female texted him and was like, I need my work shoes from your house. And I'm like, her work shoes from your house? You told me she's never even been in your house. Now how she has work shoes here?
Miss Limehouse, how red do these flags have to be on a scale of 1 to 10? As red as your hair?
Probably.
Or significantly less for you to start taking this seriously, ma'am?
Yeah, I was just being stupid, I know.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your friend have your work shoes?
Prior to our relationship, I was a single guy. And yes, I did have females that would come over. She came, like the very first day she came to my house, she came over and started playing detective. And I'm like, I didn't ask you to come over so you can investigate. I asked you to come just to hang out.
Because that's what happens when you do decide to have an investigation. When you find the evidence, any great detective then comes to a conclusion about the case. And when they find the incriminating evidence, it's normally case closed. But that's not what we do here in divorce court. No. We find evidence and then we have to hash it out and talk about it and try to work through it and try to disregard it. And it never works because all the trust is gone. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, if you're going to be a good detective, Miss Limehouse, you got to learn when to close the case.
That's true.
When the case is over.
That is true.
Now, you are suing for $620.
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot wait to hear about this case and how your friend is involved in this money.
The friend had nothing to do with this one, Yana.
Really? I'll be the judge of that.
I understand. Well, in this particular instance, as I said, a few months back, she'd asked me could she have $620 for childcare. Mm-hmm. And as I said, at the time I didn't have it, so I turned to a family member. And just came out and told him, so listen, I'm in a situation, you think you can lend me the money? He said, sure, no problem, I get it. So he gave me the money, I ended up giving it to her. And she was supposed to pay the daycare. And from what I understood, she did pay the daycare. And about maybe 2 weeks later, she ended up getting a phone call and find out that due to COVID, the daycare was closing, so the money was being refunded.
Okay.
So she got the money back.
And did give it back to you?
No, ma'am. She'd asked me, could she have $620 for childcare? I ended up giving it to her. The daycare was closing, so the money was being refunded.
And did give it back to you?
No, ma'am.
Why didn't you give the money back to him? Because he borrowed the money from someone else.
Yeah.
Especially because he borrowed the money from someone else, as he claims.
Yeah. I didn't give him the money back.
Because you were
felt
mad.
like I deserved it.
Because you were mad. Now, because you've been through so much in the relationship, now you want reparations.
What ain't even that?
For your trouble. $620. Because you said you were going to pay him back, right?
I did, but it is not because of that. I did it because for Christmas, my birthday, Mother's Day, and Valentine's Day, he didn't get me anything. So I felt, hey, I'll just take this
and so when one of these holidays came around, pick one. Christmas, your birthday, Valentine's Day. If your man doesn't get you anything for one of these holidays, why does he make it to the next in the relationship?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, it's
because this is not that difficult. This is not that difficult. You know, I understand because here's what happens in relationships when things are going well, when things are going good, because you overlooked a lot of things. And that's not the way the law works though. When it comes to money, you said that you wanted to borrow and pay somebody back. Now, if he would have come into court today and said, she said that she was going to pay me back, and you would have told me, I never said that. He said he gave me this money, it was a gift. You know what, I would have believed you because of all the stories I've heard in this courtroom, you tell some doozies. You do know I know that wasn't your friend on Plenty of Fish, right?
Yeah, I know.
So if you would have told me that, I actually would have believed you because I don't think Mr. Lewis has a lot of credibility here. But you didn't. You admitted that you said that you would pay him the money back. And it does not matter that he did not get you a gift for Christmas, your birthday, and Valentine's Day, because that's not the law. I don't make judgments because you didn't get your girlfriend a gift. Therefore, she does not have to uphold her part of an agreement the two of you made when it comes to other money. So you're going to have to pay him back the $620. And let that be a lesson. This relationship should have been over as soon as you completed your investigation and interrogation. But you chose to look past everything. And now you owe him $620. But let that be the last money you owe Mr. Lewis for anything. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you. I agree and disagree with her verdict. Yeah, it is a lot of red flags, but I am still here because there's a lot of potential in this relationship.
Well, I definitely agree with Judge Faith's verdict because the money was in fact owed, and she did agree to pay it back to me. I think it's going to take a whole lot more trust in order for us to stay together because, like I said, we just can't keep going backwards if we ever going to try to move forward.